Hello and welcome to the stream. I am your overseer, which is a fancy word for narrator for this campaign, Jariel. And these are the lovely canon for the characters.
What was that?
Nothing. Don't worry about that.
What?
Since you're the first that spoke, let's start with you. So, introduce yourself, please.
Um, Cannon fodder not number one. Um, uh, I'm Mod, the little Shiza. I am the destructive, caring force. I'll be playing Panda. Rar,
Rar indeed.
rar.
So, who wants to go next?
I can go. I'm Chair. I'm an art goblin, and I'm gonna be playing Magpie.
Which I still don't know much about, I have to be honest. I can wait to know more about her. Asher! Stardust?
I think she disconnected,
Yeah,
or they disconnected. No,
Oh,
there.
they're
they're,
back.
they're in. Then, done.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear
Yes,
me now?
we can, we
Yeah,
can.
Yes,
man.
we can. Yes, we can hear you.
Hey everyone, I'm Leon. I also go by Asher. Uh, I will be playing John Naughty Mouse Doe. I am very tired.
Just woke up, gang.
Yeah, we took at a weird day, don't worry. And last but not least, Don Distra.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I will be playing Nano, and I will be demonstrating to you how a synth works.
Yes, you will. It's gonna be fun. Fun. So, before we start, let's introduce the system a bit. Cerulean Springs is, at its core, it's a cyber fantasy game. It's based on a proprietary system. I will explain the roles and how everything works as we go along, but it's what we like to call a D20 with personality. You're gonna see why. It's
God doesn't have fast.
it's been in the works for quite a while. We already did a number of tests among ourselves, but we feel that we are in a position where we can showcase it to you. We are already working on a basics manual. You can see it here if Streamlabs doesn't screw with me. And as you can see, there's a lot of content already, and we're going to add even more to the finished product. For example, new specializations and new perks, which are gonna take a while. But for now, this is supposed to be a document that you will be able to play with immediately. So, speaking of the game, let's talk about the setting. The setting is Earth in and Earth and nearby planets, I will say, as some of our players already know. 2064. On June the 16th, 2064, a world that despite itself managed to thrive had the gate crash happen. In this society of technology, consumerism, and ruthless capitalism, with megacorps rising to even more frightful level of power, magic returned to the world, mutating a good chunk of humanity in the process, and bringing with it sporadic portals, adding to the dangers of this new world. Now it's 5 years later, 2069. Humans now share the streets with the gatecrashers, We mutated humans who now have from simply bizarre to outlandish forms we feel perfect in. If that wasn't enough, the first synthetics, whether they are people who just decided to live their life as mechanical being, or a companion artificial intelligence given a physical form for whatever reason by some rich person, are coming out as well. The job market is absolutely fucked. People scrape by working overtime for businesses either graciously allowed to exist by the megacorps for some unknown reason, or doomed to fail due to the corp's unfair advantage. They try to make ends meet in a society that worships capitalism, a society that creates an unreasonable want but gives enough to make sure no one raises their head, putting a shining coat on a rotten core and pointing the public outrage to vent on the next menial thing. Even without such hollow niceties, people would be too scared to revolt. The first weeks after the gay crash were a sign that we were way too close to oblivion the first time. They accept all this, embrace all this, if it means that TV stays on, warm food, while cheaply made, is on the table, and the net is working. Outside of the city, the wilderness reclaimed a lot of what humans took before. With the arrival and evolution of creatures that redefine the term of top of the food chain, a lot of land has been lost. Ruins and anomalies dot the world, waiting to be discovered or to bring some new unknown disaster to Earth. This is the world you and our characters live in. It's a world with a lot of fucking credits to be made, if you can survive it. Now, with that pitch out of the way, shall we start character creation?
Oh god, oh fuck, oh god.
Yeah, that's...
Leon, I'm scared. You go first.
Well, since you're offering so nicely, Maud.
I ain't offering shit. You take those filthy words back, lady.
If you hear weird stuff, it's my father playing with the cats. Please, never mind that.
That's wholesome.
Well, at the moment, he's basically shouting at the cats, which I don't know why, but he must have a good reason. They do give a lot of good reasons. So, Maud, you're bringing Panda to us, aren't you? Can you give us a bit of an introduction of your character concept?
My name is Pussy Panda Richardson. I am a centaur. My lower body is that of a panda. I am much floofy, and my upper half is a skinny, non-binary twink. No one can tell this person's gender, just that they have lusciously flowing blonde hair and green eyes.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. And no, they're not. I swear, they're not.
Well, not yet. Give me a
Yeah,
while to corrupt your character. We're gonna get there.
they're a very oblivious person, and they like the idea of magic and bows. Basically, they found a couple old VHSs of Narnia.
I mean,
Justice.
there is something to be said about the new archaeological market that came out with VHS and things like that being regarded as basically how we see today World War I relics.
Yeah. And since they know that not many people actually make bows anymore, they've researched armor for them and how to just make stuff suited to their body.
Good. So, Kara, who are you bringing to the
Yes.
table?
Okay, so I'm bringing Magpie. She is about average height, about 165 centimeters. Don't ask me how much that is in feet and inches because I have no clue.
About 5'5", I think.
Yeah,
5'4", 5'5".
that system of measurements is foreign to me. Uh, so her like the sides of her head are shaved. She has very long lavender colored hair. Her eyes are hazel, and on the shaved sides you can see her what is it called? Uh,
The jack?
the jack.
Oh, okay. The connection jack
She's
for
also
the
got
for the XPT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mechanist XPT. Yes. Also, her right arm is an implant, so it's slightly mechanic. It looks sort of stylish, but it's not one of those heavy lifting ones as you usually seen. She has hazel eyes and she likes to wear her leather jackets, black jeans, and she has been up to some shady shit in her past.
Interesting. From from partly implanted to fully synthetic. Don, can you tell us who you're bringing to the table?
So, meeting Sint is a bit disturbing because it is the equivalent of walking in on a war droid painted by a 5-year-old.
Oh god, that's a lovely description.
Sint, my Sint Nano, or Nan Zero, depending on how you want to read it, is essentially a nanny or a guardian bought by a very rich father for his sick daughter to keep as company and as safety escort. The
baby.
little girl, unfortunately, is not so little anymore. And instead of babysitting, Nano will be going on grand adventures in replacement of this sick child.
Oh,
And returning after each mission to tell the stories of what has transpired.
Oh.
oh, that's so awesome. She can even
Detective
record
Nanny
little
is also a
videos.
badass adventurer.
Yes, she can. But she will be censoring blood spray because of programming with colorful flowers and rainbows still.
Oh, that's very Black Mirror. So, Asher,
Yes.
who are you bringing to the table?
Uh, would you like their name or their handle? Or both?
Whichever you feel is the right one. Whichever you want people to know it as.
Uh, well, their handle is Naughty Mouse, but their name is John Doe.
Ooh, interesting choice of name.
So, for those of you who don't particularly live in the States, 'cause I'm not entirely sure if it carries over to the UK,
Uh,
or
it
it
does.
does.
Like even in Hungarian dubbed like the Spider-Man, the 80s Spider-Man, they still use John Doe and Jane Doe, so
Oh.
it
Okay.
does carry over.
Well, for anyone who doesn't, John Doe is a placeholder name for unidentified males,
Usually dead people.
usually dead people.
Tends
Uh,
to
So
happen.
lit.
John is a gatecrasher with he's a fishman, but imagine like whatever image you have of a fishman, put a moray eel head on him.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, we have.
Yeah.
Oh, someone liked our stream.
Nice.
Yes.
Welcome to the room. We'll introduce my character. Stay along for a bit. Come on.
So, a fishman, and what's your concept behind it? Like, what does this fishman do?
Well, this fishman He has been surrounded by violence from a very young age to the point where he picked up on a few skills and is using that skills as a mercenary.
Oh. So, from mercenary to freelancer. Very nice. With the introductions out of the way, and well, my character is gonna be everyone else.
I'm scared.
You should be. I have plans.
No.
Don't
No.
worry, little bear. I will take care of you.
Why would you be
Aww.
scared? She's such a wonderful person.
Mm.
Jeriel,
Yes,
I think you sent me the wrong character sheet.
I did.
I have nanos.
Oh, bollocks.
And I have Mighty Mouse.
Oh god. Okay.
But
Go.
I already
Well,
told
just
you.
just change the names. It's gonna be fine. Everything is fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Did they really do that?
Yes, you did.
Oh no.
I already
The label.
named mine to Nano.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, well, after that obvious fuck up, because something had to happen, let's go
At
through.
least it was this.
Yeah, it could be worse, but give it time.
I don't
We're
know
not
what you're
done
talking
yet.
about. Everything is going according to plan.
Let's go through a character sheet we have here. Magpie, I hope you don't mind.
Go for it.
I'm keeping you as our model. If you want to pose, that's on you.
I mean, do
Let-
whatever that you want to do.
Who's typing? Who's typing?
Typing?
Wardroid? Uh,
What's going on?
yeah,
Are
I'm
we-
looking at my character sheet. Light green wiring is. Has
Are
just
we
been
sharing
typed.
the same one?
Oh, did they?
Oof.
I knew it will happen. I knew something like this will happen. Give me a second. Nano, I'm gonna give you your proper character sheet.
Okay.
There we go. I am awfully sorry.
But only one of you can have the
This
Have
is
character.
fun with that one, Asher.
Thank you.
I hid 3 surprises for you.
Run for your life.
Every time someone says that, I have in mind that clip. The run with the dubstep underneath. It's really bad. Anyways, let's start with character creation. We're gonna start the base things together, and then we're gonna go through each one to see with specializations and talents. Okay. We start with statistics. You have a 12, a 10, 2 8s, and 2 6s to divide between strength, coordination, constitution, intelligence, charisma, and ether. So please fill it in.
Okay.
Twelve, 10, 2 8, and 2 6s.
Yes.
Jerry,
Mm-hmm.
at what point do we want to make annotations for the differences between synths and regular characters?
What do you mean?
A synth does not have access to ether.
Oh, yeah, right. That's a very good point. We're gonna have to make some adjustments to that. As I said, we are still on late alpha, so things are still all in the works. But the rules are there. I swear, we have them. Okay, give me a second.
Do I just put the d6 in ether then, or do I just leave it blank? What would you prefer?
You still put a d6 because you're still gonna have like there are
Okay.
still some things that like you don't have a synth doesn't have access to ether as in instinctive casting,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still use occultism, which is not in the game yet, but it will be. Well,
Yeah.
it's a work in progress thing.
Mhm. Don't worry, ether was not really a priority in my programming.
Good. All right.
Warlock, Warlock Nanny.
Oh, that will be so badass. So, with that done, we can start filling in something else. You have evasion, awareness, and astral detachment. These are what we call core
Okay.
skills. Basically, these are the skills that. Yeah? What?
Sorry, my mom walked into the room.
Oh, okay. These are the skills that every character is supposed to have. Everyone can try to dodge something that is coming towards them. Everyone can look around and notice something. And everyone has some innate defense against attacks of occult nature. You have a 3, a 2, and the 1 to put between those three.
Nay, bitch. You may be a panda, but nay, bitch.
It was the mental stats, right? No.
No,
Evasion awareness.
evasion awareness and
Ah, yeah.
astral detachment. And thanks for the follow. I can't read
Ariel,
the name. Yes.
due to a synth's detachment from ether, does that
Yeah.
affect my astral detachment stat?
You should have a +2 on that. Yes.
Remind me what astral detachment is again.
Basically, evasion is your in real world what will be a saving throw. As you can see, it has a little asterisk on it. Because when I'm going to call an evasion check, I'm going to call an evasion strength, an evasion coordination, constitution, intelligence, and so on. Right?
Got that. It's a zip zap zoop away. But what is astral detachment?
Astral detachment is basically the same, but specific for occult things. So specific
Got it.
for if you are in the astral plane, that's gonna be your evasion roll for every sort of attack. And there are some things that will require an astral detachment roll, which will be
Got
mostly ritual effects or occultism effects or ambience effects that could deal occult damage to your character or occult effects to your character.
it. I'm gonna say awareness is my lowest because that's just on brand for this character.
I am a babysitter. I think awareness will be my priority.
Definitely.
Great. You're gonna have to look after the menagerie.
Oh my god! I don't know
Don't
if
worry, little bear.
I don't know if there are enough CPUs to look over all of you. Like we're talking quantum computer stuff. Charging, yes. Now, are you all done with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Let's go through mental stats then. Mental statistics are how your character holds on to their sanity and keeps going despite things being dire. You have 1 point in each to start, and you have 9 points to divide between them, along with that one. So a total of 12.
God.
The stats are divided between drive, which is the capacity of your character to disregard wounds or other impairing effects to try and accomplish their task. An example will be if your character is wounded and they have to chase someone in a place they don't know, it will require a drive check because you are already wounded and you are going into a situation where you don't know if there might be an ambush, if you can catch them, or anything else. So if you roll drive, you can keep going, whatever happens, happens. If you don't, if you fail the roll, you might go, you know what, might need to just keep my be alive to fight another day, sort of thing. Focus is
Hmm.
your capacity to operate under a lot of stress on really mentally taxing tasks. For example, an example will be a hacker trying to unlock a door while there are bullets flying, explosions, and a lot of shit going on. Fortitude is your character's capacity to withstand traumatic events. We're talking body horror, we're talking cosmic horror, we're talking unsettling scenes, we're talking even things like the first time they kill someone, for example, or the first time they see someone die. They
I'm
all
gonna
will
wreck.
require a fortitude roll.
Okay, and you said we have how many points again?
You have a total of 12 points, and you can't go over 5, and you can't go under 1.
Great, 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 great.
Keep in mind, a character that has 0 points in one of the mental stats is done for.
Yeah, I've seen the consequence of not having mental stats. Laura, Dawn, almost murders entire party.
You
Oh,
can't blame Nano for things Grian has done.
Nano's fine.
You just hate
Nano's
me. Okay, noted.
no, I don't.
aw.
Here's that. I
We could
tell you
do
about
with.
all my adventures and being an oblivious little bitch.
Would you have
It's true.
rather our most physical fighter had turned around and attacked everybody in the party?
No,
You are
which is
more.
why my character, the team midget, gave an inspiring speech.
To be honest, we should just short circuit it if that happens.
Oh, oh dear. But yeah.
That was a
EMP
past
delivery.
campaign, people. Let it go. I am a rainbow war droid now. Let's all be happy.
All right. That sounds like an awesome band name. Rainbow Roar Droid.
It really does.
It does.
Uh, so yeah, some background music will be added. Like we're still very, very on the first legs. I will get some more tracks and put something down. I'll see if I have something now at the moment, but to do that, I will have to mute myself, and I will have to mute the stream to listen to what I have. But let's keep going. In the meantime, so what? Oh, right, that's the wrong tab. We are gonna cover integrities later because they're gonna be very personal to your character. One more thing that we need is defense ratings. As you can see, you have a 14, a 12, a 10, and an 8 to divide between them. Defense ratings are the number that the whatever attack needs to roll against to hit you. So a physical attack will be someone trying to punch you. They will have to go over physical. Hacking, we're gonna cover hacking as well. If someone is trying to hack into your system to perform some weird things, we're gonna go over hacking. Social is gonna be very interesting because that's the role a character will need to do to lie to you unless you are actively trying to figure out what they if they're lying or not. That will be a contested role, but if you're not, that's the number they need to roll to sound convincing to you. For example,
Everyone and their mama will convince me.
Ah.
now
That
let's go down to the second page, and we have skills. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna start going through character per character because we're gonna start to have more personal stuff to go through. You have a 12, a 10, an 8, a 6, and a 4 to divide between the 5 subgroups.
repeat.
A 12, a 10, an 8, a 6, and a 4 to divide between the subgroups.
10, 8, 6, 4. Got it.
Good.
Got it.
Now, we're gonna start going through one by one, and I will say we might need to start with Asher here, since he might have to deal with some things later. So we're gonna start with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Give me a second. Gonna go fetch your character sheet. For now, she'll be definitely in your control. Okay.
I've already proceeded to fill a few things out because I forgot. I thought we were going all doing it at the same time.
Oh.
So I have currently filled out the basic information, the mental stats number wise. I haven't filled out the integrities, and
That.
then it was evasion, awareness, and astral attachment.
Put the stats in and your defense ratings, please. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can get some music up.
What exactly is other knowledge?
Ether knowledge is your knowledge of things regarding ether. It might be regarding a specific facet of ether. It might be regarding how ether flows. It might be regarding the astral plane. It's all that sort of stuff, and that's where the specializations come in, because you're going to need to specialize in that. We're gonna go through specializations later on.
Okay, and occultism is what?
Occultism is something that still doesn't work, but it will
Okay,
soon.
so I'm gonna yeet that stat for now.
What?
Say I'm gonna yeet that for now.
Yeah, don't really mind that one.
How about alchemy?
Alchemy is gonna be around. Alchemy basically is the use of it is the use of knowledge of ingredients and procedures to create alchemical things. It's a crafting skill basically.
You've made a grave mistake by giving me a crafting skill.
I know. I am quite aware of that.
Have you not learned your lesson yet?
I mean, kind of like the whole.
Pink kitty.
Okay, give me a second. Gonna.
Sorry, anyone who's watching, you will not get that. But just know, kitty is pink.
Is the background music running?
Anyone who's watching the stream, is background music running?
Yay, music's there. Is it too distracting, too loud? I can't hear it from here, so I need someone to tell me.
Let's see.
Little bit louder achieved.
Let's see.
Do we need more
Do we
louder?
now do we now all imagine the little pop-up at the bottom of our screen? Achievement unlocked. You turned up the volume. Congratulations.
Achievement unlocked. You fucked up some eardrums. Ultimate victory.
Alright, so let's get back to our Naughty Mouse. Let's start with your skills. You have a 12, a 10, an 8, a 6, and a 4 to divide between them. And a dog, apparently.
That's for bonus points.
Cat walked in.
Poochie grants us an instant plus 5 points to any skill. All hail, powered Pooch.
So please feel the thing.
Hold on.
Oh, that's adorable!
What?
Look at the chat! What Kara sent!
Holla. I gotta go back all the way for this.
Cherry, I do believe it's your task to remain focused.
It is, I know. Well, I'm waiting for Naughty Mouse to have skill subclass division.
Eek, I'm back.
I hope anyone who's watching didn't expect us to be mature individuals. We're all
What are you
just
talking
semi-old
about?
babies.
Mature individuals.
Precisely.
But yeah, okay, there we go. 12, 10, 8, 6, and 4.
That's adorbs. Cool.
Told
Great.
you.
I'm gonna fuck up the world. Gonna make you regret giving me specs ever. It was an honest mistake. What can we do with biomechanics?
Biomechanics is your skill to perform operations regarding implants. So you can implant someone, you can maintain someone's implant and connections, you can you're a doctor for implants, basically.
Can I make a living automaton?
No, that would be engineering.
Fuck.
Biomechanics is specific for organics being implanted.
Okay.
Okay, so now this goes for you guys as well. Once you have divided in subclasses, in your subclasses, divide the points in each subclass between the skills that are grouped in that subclass. So, for example, you have Naughty Mouse has points in athletics. You divide them between endurance, acrobatics, unarmed, melee, throw, stealth, performance, and grapple. You can't go over 3 at this point. You're gonna go over 3 later. In case of a specialization, you put points for each specialization. So, for example, you have melee, you can put specialization hammer 2 and specialization knife 3, and that will be 5 points.
Cool, cool, cool.
Nice.
Yes.
Neat then.
Okay.
Would you classify a bow and a rifle as the same sort of thing?
No, no, they're not. They're absolutely not.
Had to
Uh,
try it.
Not
Had
in
to
the
try it.
slightest.
Had to try it.
you have a specialization thing down here. Just put the total of points, and then put specialization down here.
Gotcha.
Why would you
Cheerio.
want to have specialization in one thing?
Here.
Wait.
Jerry, would you be so kind as to explain to the people listening, watching, or planning the difference between coding and hacking?
Okay, coding is a crafting skill. Basically, it's how you create programs, how you analyze programs, how you deconstruct programs, and all that sort of stuff. Hacking, instead, is a completely different subset of skills. You're not coding them, you're using those programs to perform offensive actions. Hacking is a thing, like, it's a whole thing. Of course, it is considering the nature of a setting. And we have a really interesting hacking system where the hacker is, in a sense, a buffer debuffer role with a lot of utility both in a real world and virtual combat. So that's why the two skills are divided.
Okay. Then I have a race-specific question.
Do tell?
Since start with a +2 for coding and hacking,
Uh-huh.
does that go above the limit of
It
3
does.
or no? Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. I am, for the purposes of this introduction stream, also underlining everything that is different because I'm playing a synth, so whenever you switch to my character sheet, if there's stuff underlined, that's referencing to synth rules.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely.
Nice.
No problem.
Okay, this is gonna take a while. In the meantime, if chat has any questions or anything else, I'm more than happy to answer them. Just feel free to ask me anything. Even what I had for lunch today, if you want.
I just want to throw up for general discussion. What kind of physical stats would the robot nanny need?
I will say coordination will be a very good thing to have. Strength, I mean, it's a baby. You can lift a baby. Like, it's not a
Oh,
problem.
no, darling, I was referring to the division under athletics.
Oh, those ones.
Yes.
I will say performance could be nice. Endurance, because there will be a lot of running around. And again, you are a Send. But then
I
again,
am a Sith.
uh,
I might need to invest in some solar panel charging batteries.
grapple, I suppose.
I already that was the first skill I put 2 in because no, my charge is not escaping me. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to go for unarmed or melee or stealth.
I mean, as a nanny, depends. Did Nano do a lot of cooking?
That was not in my programming.
Then unarmed it is. Or you cool. Well, it depends on how she was programmed. Like, if it gave her knowledge of how to handle a knife.
I have more range-specific defense mechanisms because we never want my charge to get too close to danger now, do we?
That's a very good point.
I have filled out all my division stats.
Alright, good. What about everyone else? Do you if you guys have any questions as well, of course, do tell me.
If you can just look through mine if I've done it correctly.
Give me just a
Same.
second. Yes, I will. Okay.
Also, I think everyone should fear the idea of a dual wielding panda centaur.
Oh god.
Uh,
Dual wielding panda centaur samurai.
Exactly.
the only thing I will tell you is those specializations are like those are your talents. The specializations are basically engineering, like mechanical or biomedical, for example, or
Okay.
chemical engineering. That's what you put under those specializations. Then those are the perks, and you're gonna have them on your first page. We're gonna go through them later.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. Yes. 1, 3, 2. Yes. 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 Looks good. Absolutely.
Nice.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna go check Panda, and then we're gonna keep going.
Oh no, not me.
To be no, not you.
No, not me. I'm an innocent baby. Don't worry.
So,
I'm
yeah, you
forever.
innocent. When?
They
I mean,
just
before
decided when you
October of
weren't
this
looking.
year, okay?
Oh my god, that's lovely. I'll have to make you roll
What?
that. I,
What?
I'm going to just highlight it so only I know that because
What?
look at your character sheet. You'll see. Uh,
I don't know why, but I'm now imagining a fighting style akin to Kung Fu Panda rolling down a hill.
you're not entirely
Yeah.
off.
Amazing.
Jerry, I can make so much better.
Wow.
Perfect.
1, 2,
Perfect.
1, 3, 2, 3. That's the one, right? The one on ritualistic expertise.
On Acoustic? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, because but still, I need to fix that. Basically, for some
Yeah,
reason, I have an underline that makes it look like a 4.
it's weird. It's weird.
It's really weird, and I don't even know how it got there. Like, I have no clue. Anyways, that's all done. I'm taking a look at Nano as well, just since I'm at it.
Nice.
You go right ahead. I will keep crawling and working while you're at it.
Okay.
So I hope that doesn't mess with anything you're trying to look at.
No, it's not. I'm just gonna do this because it's driving me crazy. Give me just a second.
Did I misspell something again?
No, you didn't.
No.
But it's driving me crazy with the formatting.
What did you not like?
There was. Oh, there we go.
Oh, would you prefer me to do it that way?
Yes, please, because the formatting thing is. I'm doing it.
Okay, no problem.
Uh, there we go. Why is it like this? Oh, because of this. Yes. There we go. Sorted. Good. Now, once we're done with that, we're gonna go through how you get over that 3 points. Uh,
Well,
not
give me that
mouse.
link.
Not mouse.
Leon.
Leon.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
I see you finished the pointing thing. Just dealing with specialization, as I can see, right?
Mm-hmm. And them down. And down.
Baby, are you down, 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 down?
With that done, we're gonna go through the interesting parts, which is
God.
previous job,
Mm-hmm.
mutations, or mutations, previous job, and talents.
Alright.
Right?
What source material are we using today?
What?
What source material are we using today?
We're using the basics. We're using the one that is gonna be out as soon as I manage to finish it because I'm a lazy
Could
bitch
you
and I
drop
can never
a
finish things. But I will.
could you drop a little baby link?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Our eminent rising goddess Jerry.
No, no, that's not the one that I wanted. Done. There we go. Share. Copy link. I'm gonna set it on the Discord so we are
Yes,
all on the
please,
same
Daddy.
page, literally. At least until you scroll. And
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna start going through that. So, Lynn. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes. I'm on the wrong document.
yeah, I can see that. Give me a second. I'm gonna do a quick thing. Uh, because you're doing something and I have to fix it. File open. There we go.
Oh well.
I'm gonna
That'll
make
do.
make things really fast because I need to do something. But it's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Uh,
Fine. Don't be afraid. Everything's fine.
Hmm,
Everything is going according to plan, as usual.
yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
but
I'm having a bit of a hard time deciding on a previous job.
oh, that's interesting. That's right. I can imagine that considering what you did.
Nanny is not really part of the listing.
It's not. That's true. Uh, my bad. But we're gonna.
Small
How
oversight.
could you not add that to the list, Joe?
I know, right? Uh, okay.
I mean, the nanny could be law enforcement.
It could be.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm probably going to either be law enforcement, software security, or old town gang member, but that depends on what the downside is to it.
I mean, Old
Although,
Town Gang member doesn't really sound like it, to be honest.
no, it doesn't sound quite right, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Maybe
I don't
Mechanist? What does
know
Mechanist do again?
Oh, well, considering what I think your talents are, you could go with software security specialist as well.
Well, somebody has to keep an eye on the social media activity of my charge.
Exactly.
Hmm.
In this day and age, it will be a very hard job.
30 deeds done dirt cheap.
Let's go with software specialist.
Yes. Okay, there we
I am going to be a hacking monster.
go.
God.
Exactly. I mean,
Finally, I don't have to do it.
God has
Um,
nothing to do with this.
I feel bad for asking this, but which document are we in? Because I can't find the one y'all are in.
Cerulean for Springs Basics, I sent it on Discord. And I'm going to do something real quick, so everything is good.
Teriel,
Yes?
is it possible that I can't copy text out of your file that you shared?
It is very much possible.
Because of dyslexia, can I kindly request you to give me copy permissions?
I will.
Thank you, sweetheart.
No worries. Just doing something real
God.
quick to fix the thing, and it'll be fine.
I was about to ask just because my shit is slow.
Uh,
30 deeds
I'm gonna fix it
done
here.
dirt
I'm gonna
cheap.
fix it in post.
There we go.
Alright. Good. I think I forgot to copy something in. I'm gonna do it real quick.
So I
Oh
think
yeah, no, so it's
Pussy's gonna be a professional mage.
yes, that sounds about right.
Pussy is true warlock magic. Oh yeah. Jerry, can I request to copy?
To what?
To copy and paste.
Okay, I will. Give me just a second. I'm gonna share a new link, and you can all do that. Uh,
Thank
share.
you, our Lord and Savior, our overseer.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is how protective Cherry is of her work. She forgot to give her own players access to the information they need. So you know how motivated she is to get this to a good end.
Yes, I am. I have to say I've been a bit too paranoid.
As much as we've done for you, how
Hey, they
dare
are.
There you go. Now you should have, like, with a new link, you should have ability to copy and
Thank you,
paste things.
darling.
Nice.
30 done dirt cheap.
I'm not sure if that is supposed to be a JoJo reference or not, but when again, JoJo used names for every single song in the history of the
I mean,
universe. So,
I know that is a stand, but I have not gotten that far yet. I'm currently on, I think, episode 11 of part 4.
you're on part 4.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
I have no clue what I've never seen JoJo.
Neither have I.
You are missing
I'll
out.
test you with it when you get here.
It's really good. I
It's a lot of band references, okay?
yeah, it has plenty of those. From part 3 forward, I think. Or part 4.
Part 3 forward, it feels like an actual anime.
Yeah, sure. But back to the task at hand. Let's not get distracted.
Dirty deep, done
Thunder
dirty.
Jeep.
Okay, I have a profession.
Yay!
Now I have to find myself some talents.
So, in the system, for those of you watching, we use a two talent system. As in, you have a primary talent and a secondary talent. The game is supposed to be based on levels. Your characters will grow up as they go along. And the two talents will grow up at different rates. There's a whole breakdown of how level up works, which we're gonna go through when we get to it. This allows the characters to be personalized to an immense level, because we have, I think last time I counted, about 96 different combinations, only primary and secondary talent alone. That's without taking into account of the previous job or mutations or anything else.
Wow.
I think it was 96, not sure, I should do the math again.
So we all start at level 1, which means we get the level 1 perk for both talent trees, right?
Yes, exactly.
Lovely.
There's some really good perks, I think. Dirty deep, done dirty.
Mod.
It's a good song.
It is,
sorry.
I know.
It's stuck in my head.
And now it's stuck on at least 4 more people's head.
Don't worry, I am pretty immune to that sort of thing.
I was mostly thinking about our viewers.
Oh, delightful. I'm glad you thought of me. I'm sorry, I'm so egocentrical.
Oh, you're not.
Sorry, guys.
Harry, if you pick a talent,
Yes,
you have a few skills in between brackets.
you do. That's right. Basically, every talent comes with certain skills attached. We're gonna go through them real fast. Let's take, for example, firearms. Firearms has firearms evasion, sleight of hand, and awareness as attached skills, which means when you take the talent, you're gonna get a +1 to those skills automatically, along with everything else the level 1 of a talent gives. Which, for example, keeping on firearms, it's access to new kinds of weapons, so sniper rifles, and heavy weapons. Access to different combat maneuvers, which we're gonna go through later when we go through the various other skills. Not other skill of derived statistics, and you have some perks, which for example for firearms is favorite gun, which gives you a +1 to firearms and damage per talent level. So every time you level up firearms, you gain that, and the skills go up as well, but a bit more slowly. We're gonna go through that as well. We're gonna go through a lot of things. I am incredibly this is session 0, so we're just having a lot of character creation, explanation things, and all of that. I hope you're liking it so far, at the very least.
Very much so.
Yay, that's good.
Yeah.
So, now to Mose.
Yes.
Naughtier than your average.
Can I just throw out the humble brag that my hacking at the moment is at 7?
Wow.
You weren't kidding about being a hacking monster.
My coding is at a mere 6.
Dawn is min-maxing. That's why she went with a synth, and it's working.
I am not. It is just very important that for a girl that rarely goes outside, the person equipped to keep her safe can travel in the same online spheres she does.
God.
Anyway,
Okay?
Turn off all the fucking CCTVs just for this one little girl.
so
Yes, I will. I will crash every Muse system in the area to protect my charge.
Aw.
You can see people falling down all around you.
It will
cars
rain.
crashing.
It will rain droids the day she gets hurt.
God.
Anyways,
So,
you
Sorry.
back to
right.
previous job. Previous jobs work as in a way mini talents. You can see them here. For example, we have mercenary op. Mercenary op is a bit of a different sort of profession because it gives you access to a skill of choice and a non-combat skill of choice. You need one combat skill and one non-combat skill, and gear from other professions because these types of characters are people who just put their welcome back their capacities at the selling them to for usually nefarious reason. So every time every previous occupation gives a character a +1 to a skill, a +1 to choose skills, gives them some starting gear, gives them a starting cash, and gives them some perks. As you can see here, for example, a mercenary has a get out of jail card. Considering their services were usually required from corporations, if they land in normal jail, there will probably be someone ready to bail them out to make sure that they can keep doing bad things for them. At the same time, of course, this doesn't cover if they start going on a rampage. Like, this is they're mercenaries, they're professionals. They are supposed to do things with the minimum casualties, unless it's required to do so. They have a way to gather information in the underground, which is an image board. And at the same time, every profession has a downside as well. For example, for mercenaries, the downside is if they're caught by the police, yes, someone will bail them out. If they're caught by corporations or other private people, they're usually put through the ringer because if they're there, clearly someone asked them to be there and to do something bad. So they're not gonna have a
It's
good time.
Flatland of me.
So this is how previous jobs work, and this gives another layer of customization to your character. It gives you an idea of what your character was, or what they did before becoming freelancers. So, with that being done, please add your primary and secondary talent. Tertiary talent exists, but that's very high level stuff, which we're not gonna hit yet. But it's being prepared for when we go to level 18 to 20.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of levels to go through.
Jesus help.
Hmm.
I've been having dreams, jumping on trampoline.
So yeah, Leon, please put the primary and secondary.
We are also going to do mutations now, right, Cherry?
Yes, we're gonna do mutations as well for the gate crushers. Uh, synths and gatecrashers have access to mutations. In in the case of synths, they're not mutations; they're implants, and will work a bit differently. But what this means is that the characters under this category can go through a list of mutations to customize how their character is being either modified as a synth or has been modified by the gatecrash. Now, mutations, we have only three very loosely defined races in this game because we want the characters to feel yours. This means that when you take, for example, claws as a mutation, those claws can be cat claws if you're making a zoomorph, for example, an elf cat, or as in panda's example, a half panda. They're gonna have claws, but they're gonna be the claws for that sort of character. Same for the wings. We want you to have the possibility to customize the appearance and the everything about your character. And as you probably noticed from some of the sheets, this means that gender fluidity and even intersex characters are absolutely canon and doable. Or the gay crush does change that as well for people. It can change that as well. Some can change their gender, and yes,
Huh, you don't say.
I know, right?
Woo.
Oh, haha. Hee hee. It may have already occurred. Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
ho ho ho.
Whoa.
Anyways, if those talents added, add your skills, add the plus one to the skills of each talent, and remember, if you have two talents that overlap skills, you only get the plus one from one of them. So,
Uh-huh.
for example, if you have where is it? If you have firearms, which has evasion, and you have unarmed, which has evasion, you only get a plus one from for two evasions because
Uh-huh.
you don't get a plus two, you get only a plus one. And
So,
yes,
I specialize in two things on firearms. Do I add the one to both of them?
you add one to the one you want the most, to what you are more specialized in, not to both of them.
Bet.
Now, let's go through mutations, and then we're gonna pause a moment because we will need to talk about something before we go through integrities. We're
Uh-huh.
gonna have to talk about the tone of a game and what we're going to go through, and that's an important talk to have before we start, of course.
Consent.
Yes, consent. Consent is sexy.
Consent. Consent is sexy. That's fact.
All right.
Consent was sexy.
Please tell me that we have not on this one, but on the other one.
I've been on a journey, been on a trampoline, been on a boat.
I am having a hard time choosing my second.
Your second talent?
No, I don't want to call it a mutation, but I can't think of another
Oh, basically your second
modification.
inbuilt implant. Yes.
So for the first one, I went with VR-enabled chassis
Yes.
because that seemed quite reasonable for my
Mm-hmm.
And my second one, I would like to resemble my more combat-oriented purposes,
Okay.
but I have a hard time picking which one I want.
You can go with claws if you want. You could go with. Give me a second. I'm gonna go through the value.
The stunning hands could be quite good, the electroplate
Yeah.
inhibitors.
I am absolutely agreeing with you, but I am slightly hesitant to take something that would affect my hands
Mm.
Oh, so you
because
don't want
of
to. Yeah.
handling fragile cargo.
Mm-hmm.
I
Understandable.
was considering taking either tick hide or tick tail.
You could. Thick tail could be a good idea.
I think I'm gonna take tick tail then.
Of
Thank you for being my sounding board.
anytime. So, okay. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
That will do it. Considering your
adorable.
your appearance. As you can see, where are the mutations in implant? As you can see, every implant has every implant and mutation has its own little perks. For example, in Panda's case, they are a centaur, which means they have a centaurian. This will give them less coordination to evade things because, well, it's a big ass centaur,
Yeah, I'm thick.
but they gain a lot of hit points because of a mass.
Ooh.
I believe hit point is something we still need to cover.
Yeah, we
We
still need
didn't
to cover, but
It
calculate
is.
those yet. Okay. I was scared I missed that there for a
no,
second.
no, no, no. But that's just calculations that are pretty easy to do on the spot because it's just what's your coordination, what's your ether, what's your everything else. Now, before we go through integrities, I want to have a talk about the tone the game will have. As I pointed out in the digital RPG consent list that we're using, the game takes place in the grim future. On the surface, people live their day-to-day life calmly, but there are a lot of problems marring society as in 2069. There's corruption and shitty power plays. Gate crashers are seen with suspect from a number of people. There's a lot of tribalism because that's how they keep control of the populations. Tribalism brings people to bicker over menial things instead of focusing on bigger things. There are slums that are really, really bad places where a lot of violence and even worse happen. Well, damn. I'm gonna wait a second to see. Hello! Uh, as I was saying, all towns are slums where a lot of violence and even worse goes on a daily basis. Because they are expansions of towns due to the arrival of a flood of people from smaller countryside settlements that had to evacuate due to the new wildlife, and the police can't keep control of that. There's gonna be horror. There's gonna be violence. There's gonna be a number of dark tones to this campaign because this is the nature of the world you live in as characters. Are you all okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Now, of course, we have the consent list, but I want to reiterate that you have the option at any time to stop the game if you're feeling that you're not comfortable with something.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
like if something that we cover does irk you more than you expected, you can just either draw an X, a very big X on the roll 20. You can catch the attention, and then we can just have a pause and make sure that we're all okay, because this is what a game is for. Okay,
Okay.
Yep.
great. Now with that out of the way, let's keep going with a very important part of your character, which is integrities. Now, every character, as you've seen, has a mental statistic, but integrities are how you recover mental stat points, or you manage to overcome cyberpsychosis, which is something Nano will probably be very acquainted with very soon.
Oh no, don't worry about me. I'll be absolutely fine.
Integrities are actionable things that your character relies on to keep themselves sane. They're the sort of things they think about when their life is in danger and they know they can die. It's a sort of thing that keeps them going. It doesn't need to be massive in terms of scale. It can just be, I want to make sure this person is okay, but I need to be alive to do it. The only one you can't use is credits, because credits are a mean to an end. I want to know what's the end, not the mean. You have three of them.
This is
So
Do they have to correspond to the mental stats?
no, they don't.
Okay.
Basically, they used to, but that was a bit too finicky for my tastes. Now it works like this. Mental stats points can be burned or can be lost depending on your mental stats rolls, right? To recover
Yeah.
them, you will need during the session to act on your integrity, whichever integrity works. At the end of session, depending on what you did, you're gonna have a bonus to your roll. If you roll past a certain threshold, you're gonna recover a point. If you don't, you don't. So, for example, a good example of an integrity can be, I want to care for my sister, right? If you
yeah.
during a session you take like you make a call home and we just go, oh, I call home, I make sure they're okay. That's gonna be a +1. It's not really that much of a commitment of your character's time to do it. But if you tell me, no, I'm gonna take a whole day off, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna make sure they're okay, I'm going to bring them out, make them have some fun, and we're gonna spend a whole day together. That's a really deeper commitment that can bring you into some more role playing scenarios. And that's gonna be like a +3 or a +4 to your mental statistic roll at the end of a session.
Okay.
Okay.
I finally chose a magic type. I
Yeah,
mean,
let's.
ether type.
Yay!
Fucking finally.
For the ones watching at home, Extinctive Cast is a type of magic that comes from within. basically you're using your reserves of ether to create effects in the world, and there are three types of this magic. There's materium, which is the magic that regards the world around you. So you're talking telekinesis, you're talking elemental damage, we're talking all that sort of stuff. You have corpus, which is the realm of your body, of a body, which means you're talking healing, you're talking toxins, you're talking bleeds, you're talking bodily weapons, for example, bone protrusions, things like that. And then there's Mentis, which is the realm of the mind, which is illusion, which is compulsion, which is control, thought reading. Now, every character that has instinctive cast has access to all three of them, but with their specialization, we're gonna spend a number of points. If we cast a spell from another specialization, we're gonna use double the points, and that can quickly bring them to the spiral downwards, which is ether salvation. Uh, we're gonna go through that when it comes up, but it's a really bad thing. For example, if a character makes a firebolt as a Materium user, it's gonna cost them 2 to 3 points depending on how they build it. But if they cast a healing spell, which is Corpus, for the usually same amount, they will pay 6 points. Because this is not their realm. Their realm is Materium, not Corpus. So, which one are you going with?
Corpus.
Oh, thick panda will
I
become
saw
even
Lara just like
thicker.
static and do that shit, and I was just like, okay.
Nice.
And then you said I could craft stuff with bones? Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me.
What do you want from me? It's not to craft and break the system.
Yeah, that's always good.
It's not to craft and break the fucking system.
I see a wild Jerry appear on my character sheet.
Yeah, same.
She embraces us all.
I am everywhere.
Good for you.
Could we just have a silly little intermission, Jerry? It's a silly idea. If we don't do it, we don't do it. But I was thinking maybe to get a sense of who the characters are, wouldn't it be an idea for you to read out an integrity and have the rest try and guess whose it is?
Ooh.
I still only have one.
I haven't even read any.
We can do it when you all fill them in.
Okay. In the meantime, would you mind having a look at mine and see if they would
I
work?
am.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, okay, yes.
Hello, Wild Jerry.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I can see how those can be turned into actionable things. Yes, they'll
Yeah.
work.
I was having a hard time figuring out integrities based on what could make sense programming wise.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, I can imagine for a sync, integrities can be a bit harder, but puppy, poor puppy.
We have a live audience. Live student
A very
audience.
lively audience as well, considering
Yes, indeed.
how much barking was going on.
My parents are leaving.
Oh, it's abandoned.
Oh, I see.
Oh, sad.
I
Poor
will be meeting
puppy.
them later.
Yes.
GTYL. Fuck.
I am going to double check that Sins don't have anything weird for integrities.
No, you have the same integrities, but your mental stats work differently. Basically, for organic characters, mental statistics will make them lose points of mental stats. Like for example, you have a drive of 3. If you critically fail a drive, you're gonna lose a point, or you can burn a point to have an automatic success. Since instead, they don't lose those points, but if they fail, they risk going down the cyberpsychosis tier, which is a lot more dangerous because while mental statistics give a good padding, because one day you can lose one drive, one day you can lose one focus. Cyberpsychosis has 3 tiers like Ether Starvation, and once you hit tier 3 and you go down another rank of a ladder, that's it.
Okay.
That means that my sweet little rainbow nanny turns into full-blown war droid massacre.
Yes,
Yay.
exactly. Basically, cyberpsychosis exists both for implanted people and synths. And what it is, it's your character is able to do things normal humans wouldn't be able to. They can breathe underwater. They can rip people in two with one swing. They can lift a car or something like that. All thanks to their mechanized parts. Gatecrashers can do that, but that's because their bodies are built to do that. You made your body to do that. And this sort of capacity, while still living amongst organics, can give you a disconnect, can give you the idea that why are you even bothering with organics? You're better than them, you're stronger, faster, your reflexes are better, you can look with x-rays and everything like that. They don't deserve your respect, and they don't deserve you to respect their lives either. That's what cyberpsychosis is. And to resist that, that's where integrity has become important because those are the things that ground you as a person. Synth or organic, those are the things you cling to keep that connection with humanity. All right. Let's see who else I have. Okay, if everything is sorted. We're almost ready to do the guessing game for integrities.
Nice.
Working on it.
I can see that.
Of course you can.
I fear like mine will be the easiest to get.
I'm not sure.
Nah, I got a
One
pretty
of mine
easy
is
one to
really
go.
easy to get.
Yeah, well, I've seen it.
Fortitude, fortitude, fortitude.
Oh, by the way, Magpie.
Yes.
We went through mutations, but here's the thing: humans have a bit of a perk to them as well. You start your character with 5 build points. Build points are given at certain level ups,
Mhm.
where the talents don't get upgraded. So, for example, in the case of this campaign, which is gonna go up to level 5, I think.
Okay.
At least for now. If we're gonna continue, then we're gonna go further. But for now, level 5 is the cap because it's the cap in the book.
Yeah.
At level 5, you gain 5 build points, and you can use those build points to upgrade the statistic, to upgrade your skills that are not covered by talents, or gain some specific generalized talents,
Okay.
which are out of specialization talent levels. So no, not eater, not firearms or things like that. For now, we don't have many, but you have a choice between. Give me just a second. I need to cough, so I'm gonna mute myself just a
Yeah.
moment because I don't want to deafen everyone. Oh, okay.
Just go, we'll live. Yeah. So you have that choice, or you can save them and just bulk up majorly at level 5 when you will have double the points we have.
Yes. Can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. You can save those points to to use them at level 5, which you're gonna have 10 points at, or you can use them now for one of the talents, for example.
I think I'm gonna save them just to see how everything goes.
Okay.
Jerry, an interesting general question at this point.
Yes.
My integrities are done.
Good.
Great.
Nice.
She is now saving her 5 points. Imagine we level up to level 3 and she decides,